have one show topic for the show today. I saw these, had to discuss it, and we've got us some preseason Heisman odds. And this is not from some online casino that you can't really bet at. You're down at the Virgin Island and they got to give you Bitcoin wire transfer. This from Caesars out in Las Vegas, one of the most established sports books in the country. Caesars Sportsbook has put out Heisman Trophy odds. So these are legitimate, and they've got about 100 players on the list, and they've got about 25 SEC players on the list. So instead of just running down the list, going player by player, giving you the odds, which is pretty damn boring, I'm going to break this down a little bit differently. We're going to start with the best value bets on the board here, according to Caesars, for preseason Heisman Trophy odds. And again, so this is not me saying these are the guys that I think are necessarily going to win, have the best chance at winning the Heisman Trophy. These are the guys that have very low odds currently, but here's your opportunity to score big. And if you don't think it can happen, go do some research. Find Joe Burrow's preseason odds to win the Heisman Trophy. When he did it, he wasn't even listed. And the first time he was listed, which I believe was after the season opener when they beat the hell out of Utah State or something, he was 500 to 1. So imagine if you put $1,000 on Joe Burrow and 500 to 1 to win the Heisman Trophy. That's what I'm trying to get you right now. An opportunity to potentially cash in on some small ticket guys that could hit big. And I'm starting right where a guy we've already talked about on this show being a potential Heisman candidate, KJ Jefferson, 150 to 1 to win the next Heisman Trophy. He's one of the lowest odds on this entire list, but I think he's got a great chance. If he continues his progression, he's going to be the starting quarterback for the second year. He's been in Kendall Briles' system for 3 years now, so he should have that system down like the back of his hand. I know he's losing Treylon Burks, generational talent at the receiver position, but they picked up Jadon Haselwood, so, potentially a capable number one to slide into that offense. And more importantly, they got a trio of running backs they can trust. They've got an offensive line that is getting better each and every season under Sam Pittman. It's not like KJ Jefferson is going to come out here and throw for 40 touchdowns, 4,000 passing yards, but I don't think he quite has to be that. If he were to carry Arkansas on his back, get him to the SEC championship game, maybe a college football playoff, I think he's got to be more Vince Young than anything else. A guy that maybe throws for 25 touchdowns and rushes for another 20. I don't think that's totally out of the realm of possibility. So KJ Jefferson, 150 to 1 to win the Heisman Trophy. That's the best value bet on the board. Now, how about this? This is a guy we've not really even discussed much on the show, but former Georgia Tech running back, now he's an Alabama running back, Jahmyr Gibbs, 100 to 1 to win the Heisman Trophy. And I know everybody's going to say, well, Bryce Young just won the Heisman. He's coming back to do it again to get Alabama to that national championship. He may very well. Bryce Young has got the best odds on this list. We'll get to him in a moment. But it just seems like these Heisman voters never want to give it to the preseason favorite. They're just waiting for those guys to stumble. And if I'm not mistaken, it seems like damn near every other Alabama running back is in it for winning the Heisman Trophy. So Jahmyr Gibbs ranked third in the country in all-purpose yards last season. Now he's going to be surrounded by talent in Tuscaloosa. Brian Robinson, of course, off to the NFL. There is a hole there in that offense. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is a natural to just play in that offense. If he has a huge season, he's going to be a Heisman candidate, no doubt. Now this is someone that we talked about with Preston Guy in our interview upcoming here, but I've always loved watching him play, and the trouble with him is staying healthy. Miles Brennan, quarterback, LSU, 100 to 1 to win the next Heisman Trophy, and that's going to be key. Can he win that job? Can he stay healthy playing for Brian Kelly? He's going to have Kayshon Boutte to throw the ball to. I love his talent. The biggest question mark is just, can he stay on the field? And what a story that would be if he managed to do it next season in Baton Rouge. I think right now as things stand, he'd be my favorite to start at quarterback for LSU. And Brian Kelly's got a strong track record of getting these quarterbacks up to speed right away. I think Miles Brennan is worth taking a little bit of a flyer on at 100 to 1 to win the next Heisman Trophy. Now, how about this guy? His stock has cooled significantly, but not here. Just because they had a dud to end the season in the Egg Bowl, the bowl game wasn't much better, but until that point, they were lighting the scoreboards up. I think this guy's got real potential to break the SEC record for most passing yards in a season, and it's Will Rogers, Mississippi State quarterback. If they can protect him at 75 to 1, come on, you can't beat that. If who knows, Mike Leach and company pull a couple upsets, continue that progression of that offense, which was firing at all cylinders in early November last season. They can carry that over to next season. Will Rogers is going to be in the discussion because he's going to be shattering Mississippi State and SEC records week in, week out, 75 to 1. I love those odds for Will Rogers. Now, how about this one? This one's for you, Cousin Shane. Hendon Hooker, 60 to 1 to win the next Heisman Trophy. Just look at the progress he made in year one in Josh Heupel's system. Now they've got his number one target, Cedric Tillman's returning. They've got a couple running backs returning. They got 4 or 5 offensive linemen returning. You think the offense was fast before? It's going to get even faster next season on Rocky Top, and it's going to be led by Hendon Hooker, the true dual threat quarterback that is only going to progress more and more in this system. If Tennessee does big things next season, it's going to be because of Hendon Hooker and his arm and his legs making plays all over the field. And at 60 to 1, again, I'm not saying he's going to win the award, but I love that value for Hendon Hooker. Now, next little category here, I'm calling these most interesting because I don't know what to make of these, and I'm wondering, who puts these together. But, I've not watched enough film on this guy. We all know the name. I'm planning to do a deep dive here. It's been a little lazy, apologies, but I'm going to go back and watch all his games because the hype is going out of control in Columbia. Spencer Rattler, 20 to 1. He is currently the third best odds in the SEC to win the Heisman Trophy. South Carolina's quarterback, of course, transferring in from Oklahoma. Can he do it in Marcus Satterfield's offense? I don't know, but there's a lot of faith that he can out in Las Vegas. Spencer Rattler, 20 to 1. Again, third best odds in the SEC to win the next Heisman Trophy. That's incredible. How about this one? Max Johnson, former LSU quarterback, now at Texas A&M, 40 to 1. Kind of scratching my head at that one. New system, new team. But hell, if he wins a starting job in Texas A&M, does some big things on the field, he's going to be hard to deny. It's going to be a loaded quarterback competition in College Station, but 40 to 1 seems a bit high to Max Johnson. I know he's got the talent, but just based on what we've seen thus far, that's a little rich for my blood. Luke Altmeier, Ole Miss quarterback, 60 to 1. It's not really fair to judge him off what we saw last season, I don't think. True freshman, thrown into action after Matt Corral went down in the Sugar Bowl. He also saw some action, I believe, against Auburn, I believe it was. But Luke Altmeier, 60 to 1. I think if nothing else, that just shows you how much confidence Vegas has in Lane Kiffin to develop these quarterbacks. And they anticipate, potential breakout season from Luke Altmeier. Another one I'm scratching my head at, Zach Calzada, former Texas A&M quarterback, now at Auburn, 60 to 1. I don't see TJ Finley on here, so this is kind of assuming that Zach Calzada is going to win that starting job. We got a long way to go before we get there, but we all know the talent Calzada has. It's all about consistency for the new Auburn quarterback. Can he get that out of him? Until we see it, 60 to 1. Again, too rich for my blood. And here's one. It's interesting for a number of reasons. There's some value here. I'm not disagreeing with this necessarily, but new Ole Miss running back Zach Evans, 150 to 1 to win the next Heisman Trophy. And, people seem to not realize what an outstanding rushing attack the Rebels have had under Lane Kiffin. So look for that to continue, and Zach Evans is going to get the ball a million times next season in this offense. So he could put up huge, huge numbers. That one's very intriguing. We'll have to see what he looks like in the SEC, but hey, maybe take a flyer on Zach Evans at 150 to 1 to be the next Heisman Trophy winner. Now, I also thought this was kind of interesting, but I just roped it in together because they're all on the same team. And this gives you an indication of the unknowns of the Billy Napier era. I know the Gators are fired up as hell for the staff he's building, the recruiting he's doing, all the buzz they're getting. I'm not trying to tamper that, but we got 3 quarterbacks on this list. So that just tells me nobody has a damn clue at this point, and how could they, of who's going to start for the Florida Gators. But it's interesting that particularly Jack Miller, the transfer from Ohio State, is on this list, 50-1 to win the next Heisman Trophy for Jack Miller. Same odds as Anthony Richardson, who you got to assume is probably going to be the starting quarterback, but he's going to have to earn it. Nothing's going to be given to him under Billy Napier. And hell, it could still be Emory Jones, 100-1 to win the Heisman Trophy. So I just thought it was interesting. Maybe some added faith here in Billy Napier out there in Las Vegas that we got 3 Florida quarterbacks on this list, preseason Heisman odds. Now, some of the other ones I didn't go over. Bryce Young, I said he's got the best odds at 5-2. So it's basically impossible to make money bet on Bryce Young to win the next Heisman Trophy. So that's a stay away from a value point. But, as expected, he's going to be the Heisman favorite. He just won the Heisman Trophy. He's an outstanding player. Alabama's going to begin the season at number 1. But maybe he's not even the best player on his team because Will Anderson, 30-1, the outstanding linebacker, he's got the 3rd best odds in the SEC to win the Heisman Trophy. I thought that was interesting. Will Levis, the Kentucky quarterback's at 75-1. Ajay Hall, the Alabama sophomore receiver, 100-1. Keyshawn Butte, 100-1. Tank Bigsby, maybe that's one you take a flyer on, also at 100-1. And finally, Trey Sanders, Alabama running back, also at 100-1. Now here we get really, these are some wild ones right here. Arik Gilbert, I don't even know he's on the team down there at Georgia, but he's got 150-1 odds to win the Heisman Trophy. We got Jadon Hazelwood, Arkansas's new receiver, 150-1. And last but not least, Jordan Burch, South Carolina defensive lineman, 150-1 to win the Heisman Trophy. So I think they're just taking flyers on anybody with massive potential down there at that bottom of the list. So it's pretty interesting, but we got, nearly everybody in the SEC has at least one Heisman contender according to the Caesars Sportsbook preseason Heisman odds.